I'm sure you all already know this is the KTM 390 Adventure that I had bought exactly 8 months ago. Now I've already ridden 6,000 kilometers on it. So it's a combination of touring, it's a combination of touring with pillion, it's a combination of city commute, solo and pillion. I've also gone off-roading with it. I've also gone trail riding with it. And 6,000 kilometers, I think this combination of environmental riding is a good enough experience to give you a verdict on how the KTM 390 Adventure is. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly bits of the Adventure 390 so that you guys who are planning to buy the 390 Adventure or you're confused with the other competitions like the BMW 310 GS or the new Himalayan 452, you can make an informative decision. So my name is Puneet Amin. Namaste and welcome to my YouTube channel. And now let's begin. Now, if you are new to this channel, make sure to hit that red subscription button and also ring that bell icon so that you get notified every time I create a new video. I upload videos on travel, motorcycle, road trips, adventure sports and more. And I can guarantee you, I will keep you entertained. So that's a quick background about myself. So what I'm going to do on this video, so I made a good amount of notes on my mobile phone and I'm going to refer to that and talk about the key points. So I'm not going to go through the technical specification of the motorcycle because there's a lot of videos out there on YouTube channel. You can look at any automobile journalist videos and they will talk about the technical specifications. So what I'm going to talk today is the actual experience of owning this motorcycle, the capabilities of this motorcycle, what you can do with this motorcycle and what this motorcycle makes you feel like, which is the most crucial part. So what I've done is divided this video into 3 parts. The good side of the motorcycle, that means the good points about this motorcycle. Second is the bad points about the motorcycle, or you can call it the improvement areas that KTM can work on the Adventure 390. And third is the basically common questions that you all guys normally have before making a purchase decision. And last but not the least, I'm going to break some myths about this motorcycle. Now let's begin with the good points. And point number 1 is of course the looks. As you all know, looks are subjected to personal opinions. Now, as per me, the Adventure 390 looks amazing. It is a combination of a street fighter which is sharp, edgy and angry, and with a small element of purposeful design, which is the purpose of touring and adventure riding. Now let's come to the second part, that is the heart of the motorcycle, the engine. Now this is a 373cc engine which produces 43.5 brake horsepower and 37 Newton meters of torque. Now let me tell you, this is a very monstrous potent motorcycle, and I'm almost every time when I gun it and it goes past 7,000 RPM, I always get surprised how a single cylinder is able to give you such a huge amount of adrenaline kick and rush at the same time. So that means this is a very capable highway tourer for sure. City commute, not so much. Now coming to the third point, which is the riding dynamics, basically the rider's triangle, your sitting posture on the motorcycle. So this is something that how it looks like in my case, which I am 6 feet and 1 inch tall. For me, it's quite comfortable. The handlebar is decently in the grabbing range, and for me, this leg position is also quite comfortable. The stock motorcycle fits me fine. So now I've done 200 to 250 kilometers at one stretch. So I can tell you, this motorcycle, you can take it for long tours and you will still be comfortable. But the case with the seat, it's a little of a love and hate story. I'll talk about that in the bad point. Cornering capability of this motorcycle. Now, this motorcycle comes with the Metzeler's as from the factory, okay, which are amazing. Trust me, amazing on road, wet surfaces. Not so bad on off-road trails. If you're going very technical, then this tire is going to be a little falling short, where you need actual knobby tires, but you're going somewhere soft roading or trail riding, this tire is good enough, right? And this tire and the motorcycle chassis coming together and the engine coming together, they do a fantastic job in the corners. You will be surprised the way this motorcycle corners, being an adventure and a tall motorcycle. Now that we have already discussed about the rider's triangle, we also need to talk about how this baby behaves on off-road and trails. So you need to have a good control while you look ahead, while you are going through bumpy off-road patch, dirt patch, rocky patch, whatever you gonna go on, right? So this is a very capable motorcycle. It inspires confidence. It inspires, capabilities that you would have not expected from, the reviews that you might have gone through before you have seen my ownership review. Like, it's not a proper off-roader, it's a soft-roader. Well, somewhere it is true. It can handle soft-roading very well, but it can also do technical off-roading as well, right? You need to just get your practice and techniques right, and it is much more capable on off-roads. It's not the machine, it's actually you. Now let's come to the 9th good point about this motorcycle, that is the features that it comes with. Now this baby is packed to the brim with the mid-segment adventure motorcycle, from riding modes, from ABS modes, from traction control on and off. So you have 6-axis IMU monitoring your every movement, your lean angle, your throttle input, everything. You also get mobile Bluetooth connectivity and lot more. If I go and speak about the feature lists, it's going to be a very long video. Phew! Now that we have covered the long list of the good points about the motorcycle, let's come to the not so good points about the motorcycle and the areas that the KTM can improve over the period of time or for their next generation. So yeah, there are going to be certain reputations. Like for once, the engine. Yes, the engine is also in the bad point. The reason being, this being an adventure motorcycle and KTM giving you training academies for off-roading and trail riding, that means you're going to take this motorcycle off-roading. Now while you are off-roading, now I've ridden the Himalayan in the off-road and the Ladakh. So the difference that I felt majorly is the low end torque, right? While you are off-roading, you are doing some technical bits in off-road trails, you need the low end torque, right? So this engine misses out on that. And what you end up doing is managing your clutch input and the throttle input. So you need to get used to it. You need to train your brains and your muscle memory to how to react to every kind of a situation while you're off-roading or while you're in cutthroat traffic and you want immediate power to shoot out of the signal or some corner or something like that, right? So that is the one not so good point about the engine of the Adventure 390. Now coming to the second point is the suspension. It does have a technical reason, so I would not say it's a bad point per se. The front suspension is very well calibrated, so I won't touch that. But the rear suspension is towards the stiffer side while you are riding solo. That's when you feel it. While you are riding pillion, the suspension settle down very well. So while you're riding solo and it's a bumpy road or you're going through some uneven patches, you will feel a lot of jolts and jittering from the rear suspension. So the next bad point is the seat, right? I'm not talking about the length and breadth of the seats, both rider and the pillion. I'm talking about the cushioning of the seats. You're good to go for a stretch of around 200 to 250 kilometers at one stretch. Post that, you will start feeling numbness at your rear end. Same goes with the pillion seat. So that's not so very good about the motorcycle, and I would suggest that you either cushion it up a little bit or use the air seat or the gel seat that you find in the aftermarket, and that's an easy fix. So that should not be a problem. Now the third not so good point about the motorcycle is the vibrations that come from the engine. So like you saw, the mirrors, the headlight line was vibrating. So that is at the idle stage of engine. You will also find vibrations at the low end, somewhere with around 3.5 to 4,000, 3 to 4,000 RPM. After 4,000 RPM, the engine smoothens out. And then again, you will start feeling a little bit of buzz on the handlebar and the foot pegs post 8,000 RPM where you are redlining it. So yes, so there are vibrations on this motorcycle, but that is something not so heavy that you will definitely ignore it because of the package, the wholesome package this motorcycle comes with. So that brings me to an end of the bad points, and trust me, these are 3 bad points that I had to struggle to come out with, and there are a lot more good points that I have not covered because this video is going to be very long. Now let's come to the key part, which is the questions that people ask me about this motorcycle. Now that I've summed up the good points and the bad points of the Adventure 390 that you're gonna face while owning the Adventure 390, and I'll now come to the part where I'm gonna answer the common questions that you guys have and I've been asked while I'm riding, touring and so on and so forth, right? So number 1 is the mileage, or the kitna deti hai. So basically it depends all on your right wrist, how much control and how much tamed acceleration are you providing to the motorcycle. If you are going to ride it very enthusiastically, then it is going to give you a return average of around somewhere between 25 to 30 kilometers per liter, and if you are being very good with it, like I mentioned earlier, it can also return somewhere between 35 to 38 kilometers per liter. And the next question, after sales service, all right, the service network of the KTM is one of the good ones after the Royal Enfield and Bajaj. So there's a good service network in India. And the service cost is quite reasonable. Like for the main expense that you're going to get is the engine oil. So your service can range somewhere between 1,800 to 3,500, right? So that's the range of service that you're looking at. And if you're in that free service period, you can expect anywhere between 1,800 to 3,000 rupees, right? The next is the parts cost. So this motorcycle being manufactured in India with the collaboration of KTM and Bajaj, that makes it a very reasonable motorcycle to not only own, but also if you know some parts that replacement parts, like the common replacement parts like the brake pads, the chain sprocket, if you have a fall and you break this panel, these are quite reasonable to replace. You are expecting a brake pad of somewhere around 1,500 going up to the parts of this panel going up to 6,000 to 7,000 and so on and so forth. So don't catch me on the rates, because these rates do change as per the laws and taxes, right? The next question is engine heating. As it's always been a problem with the 390 series of KTM, the engine heating is there. But trust me, the engine heating is well managed on the Adventure 390 because of the curved radiator that they have on this motorcycle, and also the dual cooling fan, which actually throw and divert the heat away from your legs. So you don't feel it much, but you will still feel it, but it's not as much as the Duke 390s that I have ridden, right? I've also reviewed the Duke 390s. It's pop-up link on the screen. So that not that horrible. You actually get fried, your legs get fried. In this one, you won't get your legs barbecued by any way. The next is the pillion comfort. So trust me, with pillion I do ride along with my wife, and I've done a lot of trips which are 300-kilometer stretch, 600-kilometer stretch, and the seat again for the pillion is not that comfortable, but the seat length and breadth is quite comfortable. Again, if you add up some air seats or gel seats to it, it becomes comfortable. If you're going to add a top box or a backrest, then again that makes the pillion very comfortable. The suspension behaves very well. In fact, the rear suspension settles down and starts absorbing bumps much better when there is weight on the rear, or if you have pillion on board, or if you have some kind of a luggage on board, the suspension kind of settles down. Otherwise, if you're riding solos, like I mentioned it, you will feel the bump and undulation of the road. So pillion, if you're planning to buy this motorcycle and ride with the pillion, please go for it, no problem. And yeah, that brings to the conclusion of the motorcycle. So the main question, should you buy one, or are you planning to buy one and you're confused between the competition, that is the BMW 310 GS or the all newly launched 452 Himalayan, right? So, whoa, that was close. Okay, so in my opinion, it basically has to be what suits your need, right? Which is the motorcycle for you. Now, if you're troubled with the ride height, don't go for it. If you are nervous, I won't be able to ride, it's too tall, or if you're nervous that, oh, after 7,000 RPM, this motorcycle goes ballistic and I'm scared of speed, don't go for it. Go for something like a Himalayan or a GS310 or a USD Adventure, right? So like I mentioned, I wanted power, I wanted alloy wheels, I wanted the feel of adventure and explore much more terrains and not be restricted to only tarmac like I was in the Interceptor. This is the motorcycle for you. So test drive all the motorcycle, feel the power, feel the suspension, feel every aspect of the motorcycle, imagine you owning that motorcycle. No, do a research of the after sales. Like for BMW 310 GS, the after sales is expensive compared to this one. Another reason that I did not want to go for it. Whereas this one is comparatively cheaper. 452 Himalayan, no one knows. It's basically a wait and watch, let the owner's review like come up, right? So yeah, so that's what it is. This is what you need to do. You need to do your own research and finally go down and make the decision. And if you're making the decision for the Adventure 390, trust me, you're making a very good choice. And that's it, folks, for this video. If you enjoyed watching this video, make sure to hit that like button and ensure to subscribe to my channel. Until next time, see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.